Greetings, dear viewer. Shen is getting buffed in patch 14.6. However, everyone seems to be misunderstanding the effects of this buff. Alright, so let's get into it. SpiderX here has tweeted, Shen buff, passive cooldown refund now scales at every level instead of at weird random levels. Alright, this is the buff. And now, if you look at the r/Shen community here on Reddit, the consensus seems to be, oh, seems like an adjustment more than a buff. It is technically a buff, but yeah, they've classified more direct buffs as quality of life before, okay? To be honest, I expected more, but I'll take it. At least it's not another ult buff. I expected either Q max health getting a bit higher or drag through or W last go maybe. Really? Passive shield? I guess more shield bash proc. Stop, guys. Just stop. You don't understand. Let me bring up the numbers, alright? So the real change here, if we look at Twitter from Riot Froxon, is that instead of scaling at levels 1, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16, 17, 18, which is very end game, late game favored, it scales linearly. And now, let me bring up the fake buffs, okay? So this is what people think when they see the buff. This is not the actual buff. This is what they think they see, okay? The other way around. Anyways, they think this is the buff. So if Shen's scaling was normal already, the buffs would look like this. So not very meaningful. So what we have here is that we have the refund old, right? It's in blue dots on the graph. And you would be thinking that it goes linearly except not at every level. And then if they change it to go linearly at every level, you get a small increase in between the level breakpoints. But this is not how Shen's passive shield works, alright? If we go to the Wikipedia here, League Wiki, we see that Shen's passive shield actually scales at level 6 for the first time. This means that there is a 5-level window there where it is not scaling at all. Then there's a 3-level window, and then 3-level again, and you notice it's very like late game favored, so that you get a lot of scaling at level 16, 17, and 18, which is very weird. So now, if we bring up the real numbers, you can see this difference, by the way, this is the buff. So if you look at the graph, okay, let me make it a little bit bigger for you guys. Why can't I do that? Usually this works. Okay, well, this, I guess this works as well. No, wait. I'm a computer science expert. I will just do this. But then this is a little bit smaller. Anyways, maybe you can see this. We only care about the difference here, right? So the blue is the old one, red is the new one. So this is the fake buffs, and you would be thinking, oh, well, the difference is not that big. But then the real buffs, okay, the real buffs, the difference is quite huge. So if you look at the chart here, we have listed the buff or the difference in seconds. So we see that the buff is at maximum value at level 13, giving a whole 1 second extra refund. But it's giving a lot of value already starting from like level 5, level 6, level 7. Actually, level 10 is extremely high as well at 0.94. And these are the differences in the graph, basically. So if we wanted to integrate the entire kind of change over levels 1 to 18, we would basically integrate the blue graph and like decrease it from the integration of the red graph. So if you just look at the area between the curves, we notice that the initial understanding, if you don't know how Shen's passive scale, would be this, which would lead to a minor increase, but then the actual area is this. And why does this matter? Why does this matter? So if we just have some Shen gameplay running in the background, think about how actually good Shen players play the game. I'm not saying I'm a good Shen player, but think about how good Shen players theoretically would play the game. So they would ideally always fight when they have passive shield, in lane or in a 1v1 fight. And you often see me actually delaying my Q in order to guarantee that the Q gets a passive shield off. Okay, so I'm using my Q as an activator for the passive shield. And by getting a 1 second extra refund at most levels, not at most levels, let's say that, wait, actually we can just compute the average to see what it is actually here. So if we just do a autofilled 0.61, okay? So on average, you're getting a 0.6 second refund increase throughout the levels. Obviously, you would have to discount that for game time, so it's a little bit different. because you don't spend the same amount of time at every level. If we maybe take another clip from, let's say, my live stream versus the Aatrox, just because I want to flex this play again. It's this one. Okay, I'm gonna bring this clip up more times now because I really like what I did here. But just take a look at my passive shield. Like, I will say that this change benefits mostly like higher ability haste Shen builds more, right? But it's gonna benefit Shen at all stages of the game, no matter what build you're going. But because of you can like think about passive shield as something that needs to be activated by an ability, then also the ability cooldowns kind of increase the effect of the passive shield buff, because if you're using more abilities, you're getting more refunds, which means that you just get even more passive shields. My point being, it's a very great buff. It promotes skill expression, because passive shield refund is only activated if you actually successfully get a drag through or hit an enemy with E or W, someone walks into it. So it's buffing good Shen gameplay, and it's seemingly small, but still has a huge effect if you play Shen to its full potential. So stop complaining about the buff, be happy, and I will be trying to climb to Challenger in next patch with the Shen buffs. But until then, I hope you guys have a very wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.